Hey guys, today we're going to be replacing our Fang lights. These were a prototype. I'm going to be swapping those out for the production model. I was nicely sent to by the company here. Got our instructions. Good to have. There's the company. And this is really nicely packaged from before. We got our tap fuse along with some actual spare fuses. And we got the T-clips for splicing into the wiring harnesses. Very nice. The wiring harness that goes from Fang light to Fang light. So left side, right side. And then the actual wiring harness that plugs into the truck. So we have the blue for the fog light, and then the black and red, ground and for the fuse box. And then we have the new lights. It's all one-handed here. So these look really nice. So there's the old ones, with the new one right beside it. Very nice. Looking forward to getting these in. So we'll go ahead and prep the front, because we're gonna have to go ahead and take the front grille off. So in order to do that, we're gonna pop the airbox. 4 clips. I already popped one out. It's down on the ground. These push pins, be very careful when you pop them. They like to go flying. So push, airbox out. We got the clips on the front radiator shroud here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pop those out. And then there's going to be 10mm bolts. We'll be back and we'll see where we are. And then underneath we got these bolts right under here, which you probably can't see very well. I'll show them better when we get up here. And they'll be the ones holding on the fender flare here. We're going to pop the first couple just to pop this out so we can unrelease the front grille. And also, don't forget, whenever you're doing anything electrical, always make sure to disconnect your battery. Just as better safe than sorry. But right now we've already got all the bolts from down here off. So it's one here, one up here, and then there's one right up underneath the wheel well as well, along with one down at the bottom of your felt liner, one under the felt liner. Same on the other sides. There is 3 in the middle, positioned on the bottom. You got your 3 up top. 1, 2, 3. Once you have those done, you can start to pull away your fender flare. Do that on the other side. Unclip all of your wiring harnesses on the front, and you should be good to go. We'll be right back. So now we have the front bumper all unattached. Right now it's just leaning on the front. We have to make sure we have all of our wiring harnesses unplugged. A connection here, which is this one. And then over here we have 3 as well that are all 3 of them are right here. And that would be these 3. And since I already had Fang lights in here before, I have the previous wiring harness in here. So I have to go ahead and disassemble that. But I'll have one of them's running up here to the headlight. I got our patch cord from the one Fang light to the other running underneath the grill mounts here, so that has to be disconnected. The other Fang or the other turn signal. We got the Fang light, which I had actually hooked up to one of the auxiliary switches. That's going to be disconnected. We're actually going to go ahead and hook the Fang light directly to the fog lights for the Fang light directly to the bumper. So let me go ahead and get all this disconnected and we'll take the front bumper off. So just a quick glimpse in the fuse box here. This is the fuse box on the driver's side underneath the hood. As you can see, this is my makeshift entry here. I drilled a hole through the box here to try to keep it clean. Wired it in, ground wire down here. But for the prototypes, what I had done was I had wired it into, it is the ignition. So if you look on your, I had wired it into this fuse here. The new set is telling me to wire it into this one up here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep the existing fuse block, or the existing tap that I had, because there's no point in actually rewiring that one. So I'm going to keep that one in here. I'm going to flip these 2 around because they're the same polarity, same size and everything like that. So that won't be an issue. And then this will be my I and J. And the ignition will have its single plug again. So now we have the front bumper off. And you can get a better idea. These are the connections that you have to make sure you unplug. It doesn't give you a whole lot of room to work on the inside, but that's what you're looking for. So here are the back panels of the existing lights. These, all we need to do is push the tabs in and push it out. It's not easy to do one-handed, so I'm going to do this off the camera. But essentially all you have to do is get that little lip through that hole. Do that for every piece, and once we get the old ones out and the new ones in, I'll come back and we'll see how the wiring goes. So here we have the 2 lights. This is the old one and the new one. Looks really, really good. I'll pull those back just a bit just so we can see if there's any difference between the fronts. So other than the actual coloring of the lens, the fronts don't really appear to have much difference, which is good because I liked how these ones turned out. Nice and clean, no molds or anything like that, no mold lines. So that's very good. Very definitely well made. And you can see from the backs, old one, new one, they did do a little bit of revision. You know, you got your markings here. But all in all, same clips as the old one. Very nice. Let's go ahead and install these, and we'll see if there's anything different between the installations. And they've upgraded the wiring harness as well. This was the old wiring harness. You see, nice cable. They did a really nice job putting it together. You got the waterproof sealing ends that screw into your lights right there. The new assembly has the same thing, so that's great. They've also put the wire loom around it to protect the wire. I love that. Also gives it a nice professional look to it. And they even shrink wrap the connection where they splice it together, just like they did on the original loom. So they give you a nice length of wire for your fog lights. That's the blue. And then they also gave a nice length of wire to actually wire to the fuse box into the ground. So you have many options for grounding. Awesome. So we'll go ahead and get this started to wire up with the truck, and we will see where we're going. Now, to wire up the turn signals, this is the passenger side, so right side of the vehicle. You go to your headlight assembly there, and you pull out the bulb that has your orange bulb on it. You'll see 3 wires: the blue, the gray, and then the white with the black on it. The wire we want is going to be the blue one on the right side, and then on the left side it's going to be this beigey tan wire. Now, these little nicks are from the old connections that I've had, so I'm going to swap those out to a new style that they gave me. Same basic idea. You got your vampire clip that your main wire, the wire that you're splicing into, goes through that little channel there. So when you pinch your wire in, you close that up, and that will hold your main wire, give you the splice that you want. And then in the back you'll see this groove, or this channel here. Well, they also supplied these spade connectors. So what you're going to do is you're going to use your spade connector, attach it to the end of the yellow wire on the light assembly itself, and then once that's attached onto there like that will get plugged into this channel like so, and that will make your connection. Pretty cool. I'm going to give it a try and see how well it works. So now we have the ends attached to the yellow wire. Crimp them on really good. Do it to both sides. And now they're ready for the splices up here. So that's good. Turn signals are all wired up. Now we have to go ahead and figure out which wire out of these 2 down here we want to splice into for the fog light. Be right back. So our new wire, or we are going to go ahead and splice into this green wire down here. We'll use one of those T-clips there, splice into that, and attach the blue wire. And that will give us the power for the fog lights. The turn signals are already wired up. They get wired into the turn signal on the headlight assembly. And then after that, it's just a matter of putting the grill back on, doing up the bolts, and finishing up the connections. Now, whenever I make a connection like that, after splicing the wire together, and there's your fog light wire, whenever I do a connection like this, I like to wrap it in tape. It does two things. Helps keep it waterproof, and it keeps the wire together so it doesn't have a chance to pull itself away. So, little tip. But sorry about all this noise here. I live on a very busy street, so, but yeah. That connection's made to the fog light. That will be on the green wire. So once that connection's made, we can go ahead and plug the fog light back in. So if all goes well when you're wiring up, keep in mind this is the left side of the truck, so the driver's side. You'll have your fog light wired in. I like to try to keep things a little bit cleaner, so I just wrapped my cord just to try to manage it a little bit better. I'll end up doing the same thing with the turn signal lights and stuff as well, but you should end up having something that looks very similar to that. All your connections will mainly be on the left side of the truck. Though mind you, there might be enough room or enough wire to run it from here instead of here. You might be able to do it on the other side if you really chose to, but I decided to keep it all on the driver's side just to make it all, try to keep it clean. So I'm going to go ahead and put the bumper back on, because that's everything that we needed the bumper off for. Everything else we'll be able to go ahead and do from when the bumper's back on. But that's what your Fang light should look like once everything's clipped in. It'll be all nicely seated, good to go. And I'll be right back once I get the bumper put back up. So I decided that I'm going to go ahead and use one of the supplied wire taps they gave us. It's the Add a Fuse. It's very similar to the one that I used before. I believe these are the micro ones. This one is the next size up, but it does fit in the hole that we're going to use. So we'll go ahead and add that in. Make sure it's still the right one. Yep. So that's the INJ. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and add 2 fuses to that, so that way it mimics the old one. Our red wire from the wiring harness gets crimped on to this connection, so that's all nice and clean. If you want, add some tape to it just to give it a little bit of extra security. I very well might just go ahead and do that as well, just to make sure it gives it a little bit of extra grip. Our ground I just put down here, but it can be added. You could basically add that to any one of the body bolts. It will provide you a very good ground. So we got that hooked up. Fog lights hooked up. Fog lights hooked up to the grill there. And then you'll have this great big coil of wire. What you can do is you can clean that up any way you want. I'm probably going to go ahead and grab some cable ties and just feed it through the grill. Maybe line it around where the rest of them are as well here, just to help tidy it up. So I'm going to go ahead, grab some cable ties, and just clean up the wiring a bit here, and then we'll give the we'll reconnect the battery, fill the fuses, and we will give her a test. Alright, so we have the wiring all hooked up. All the connections are hooked back up, connected. One more right here. Make sure you get that one back in there too. Make sure all your connections are made. You don't want any unconnected pieces. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead, turn on the power. I got the battery all wired back in. I'm going to turn on the power and see what we have for function. And there we go. Now we have them all hooked up. I got the hazards on right now just so we can see the full function. But as you can see, fog lights are hooked up to the actual fog lights. Turn signals come on with the turn signals. Looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and turn off the hazards, and then just do an actual just test so we could see the full function without the turn signals. You got the fog lights on the outside and the daytime running lights right here, fog light, and like I said, the daytime running light doubles as a turn signal. So I'd say they look pretty good. All in all, much easier install compared to the first time, but that's more on my doing than anything. But I think it turned out pretty good.